So, Tony, 2020, an interesting year. So, like most organisations, Ion have had to pivot and do things a bit differently. We've always delivered face-to-face. Now we've been delivering our leadership programs online for about 3 or 4 months now. So, using Zoom. So how, as a member of our delivery team, have you been getting used to using Zoom for online delivery?
Well, it's a bit frightening really, because I don't think I have got used to it. Before we started this, I used to look in the mirror about once a day sometimes and didn't even try not to do that. But now I've got to look in the mirror almost all the time. That's a bit spooky really. Learning how to use Zoom, I'm really pleased with myself, because even within our team, I think I took a bit of a lead at the start. I was late. I was off the first couple of weeks of the sort of start of this at the start of April. And I came back, and I think I really passed the message on with as much strength as I could to everybody in the team. We've got to learn how to use Zoom really quickly. We had really good support from the university. They offered some workshops that introduced the idea and how to get comfortable with Zoom. And yeah, I'm really quite pleased with myself, because other parts of the university had been a bit slower to react. I ended up doing little sort of introductions to Zoom and giving them some help, the Egypt Centre and the School of Management. And yeah, I was quite pleased with myself in learning a new software, because I think I always keep saying the last time I learned the software was back in 1990 or something, when they invented the internet. So
you've become a bit of a guru then, have you?
Yeah, guru. Yeah, I am the Zoom guru, but don't tell anybody. Ask one of my disciples. Yeah?
Well, I was going to say, if once this goes out, then if anybody's got any Zoom questions, they're going to get in touch with you.
Yeah. I'm far too busy for that. Yeah.
So if one of the things that we pride ourselves on in our program is the relationships which are developed between the delegates, and then also the delegates with our delivery team as well. How do you develop those relationships in a virtual world?
I would say, Adam, that's one of the real challenges, that we've had and faced and are facing. Because we develop or we sort of facilitate experiential learning, which really depends on building what the academics are called communities of practice, but I actually call is trust clusters, where people come together and quickly get to know each other. I mean, that's part of the program, is get to know each other quite quickly and rely on each other for learning. That's it's really difficult in this media to replace that. So what I try to do is make sure that we focus more on the student. I was lucky enough to go to Denmark at the beginning of this year to the Chaos Pilots there. It's a business design school, and the program I did there was student-centered learning, or facilitating student-centered learning, or designing student-centered learning. And it was really timely, because the Zoom drives you towards creating those mini environments in the breakout rooms, in plenary, where you try and step back and not be the focus of things. You know what I mean? Really giving students responsibility and power for their own learning. They decide on what they're going to take from this. And I've always been a massive advocate of that, but I really think that's changed in this as a medium. Is when you put someone into a breakout room, you don't know what they're doing. Sometimes me as a facilitator, I'll parachute in there just to make sure they're on task. But actually the learning is going on within those small groups without a facilitator without a lead facilitator from the university being there,
But you then get greater engagement from the delegate, because you're putting ownership of that learning onto the delegates themselves.
Yeah, they take responsibility for that, and especially when you sort of what we've always tried to do at Leader Now Iron Leadership is pull people together with different sets of experiences, with different sets of qualifications and skills, and with different sets of knowledge. Well, there's obviously it's a real opportunity there for peer learning to go on, for opportunities for people to teach each other.
Okay.
And I think that's the way that's affected what I do is I spend a lot of more time now planning things. It's really key that the sort of the dynamics that go on within a group. But basically, I'm leading a cohort at the moment where the way I break it up is into 45-minute sessions, and then there's a comfort break. But what I do is put 2 45-minute sessions before lunch, have a 45-minute lunch break, and then 2 45-minute sessions after lunch. Maybe a bit longer on both sides, but that's basically the way I want to do it. And within those 45 minutes, creating a sort of dynamic space where people will stay concentrated, they'll stay focused. We know Zoom fatigue is a thing already. Concentration span has already been a thing and has reduced quite recently. So planning, when you're planning in, making sure I've got a column in the facilitator notes we put together to start now, is planning in what the interaction's going to be as the 45-minute sessions go on over those 3-4 hours. And what also is important is the dependence between two people. That's why planning is really important, because what we decided early on that we needed a Zoom host and a facilitator. So we give okay. When we team teach almost is myself and Jill, especially my colleague who I work with quite closely, will pass a baton backwards and forwards, one to be the facilitator, one to be the Zoom host. So the planning of facilitation notes for that has got to be really key, and it's got to be something that is easy to access. So
then is one of you then almost acting as like a watcher? So just watching the room and checking that everybody is engaged in the whole process and everything?
And tracking and tracking the activity that's going on through the chat, which is always really key for us, because we use it for, we'll drop URLs for videos in there, and then people can watch them on their own machines rather than use the software. We'll drop surveys in there. We use the whole raft of the Zoom tools we use, including the polls, but we'll drop a survey in there where they'll click that survey, go away to another website, do a survey, come back, okay, what were the results of that? Then they'll put that in a poll. So it like creates a dynamic where two people, because of quite intense planning, understand we produce a document that we share, and then that document is basically what we stick to. The other good thing about the Zoom is, rather than face-to-face, is we can have a quick meeting. When we send them away to do a task in a breakout room, me and Jill in this case, but me and my colleague, we can look at where we are. Sometimes we always overplan anyway, so you can see where you can crop stuff without having too much impact on the learning, making sure you're getting through to the learning outcomes there. I mean, we must be doing something right, Adam. We must be, because we're getting really good feedback, and I'm getting people, as I said to you before, I'm getting people coming back to the sessions month on month, and then fortnight on fortnight in some cases. So that's always my objective, is to keep people interested, because really they didn't sign up for this environment. Nobody did, and we're making the best of a media that's been almost imposed on us. I'm quite pleased with my ability to change to that.
I'm sure I'm the same as most people, that before this all happened, I'll openly admit I hadn't really ever heard of Zoom, and now I spend quite a lot of my time, quite a lot of my days on it. So
don't you wish you had a few shares in this now, don't you?
Certainly do. Well, it seems like you've learned quite a lot this year then, Tone.
Yeah, it's been busy. It's been busy, as I said before, at the start of this. I mean, learning a new software, it's been a gradual process. And you hear from lots of businesses that their technological advancement has been huge in 2020. But as individuals, as facilitators of experiential learning in this media, we've had to learn how to use this software to a really good level quite quickly.
Well, it sounds like you've become a bit of a guru, like we said earlier. So if anyone's got any problems, then they can just find you on Twitter or something, can't they? Yeah.
I'll always find somebody who can support them. Yeah.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers, Tony.